This is the Dark Zero Horror Network. Psychological autopsies.
Them to hell.
Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are putting on our riot gear and boarding up the windows.
Definitely.
Because we are looking at the absolute bedrock of modern horror. We're breaking down the ultimate double feature, Night of the Living Dead and its massive sequel, Dawn of the Dead.
It is, and I mean this, impossible to overstate how critical these two films are.
Yeah.
They didn't just start a genre, they basically reinvented independent cinema.
Totally. But we aren't just here to, gush over zombie movies. We're here to unpack a really messy, complicated history.
Oh, it's a mess.
I'm talking legal battles that split a universe in half, accidental public domains, and an Italian marketing scheme that is so confusing you almost need a flowchart.
It's a wild legacy. It's a story about art, sure, but it's also a story about copyright law and how one tiny mistake just changed pop culture forever.
Before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you to all the subscribers of the Dark Zero Horror Network. You folks are the reason we can keep the lights on in this bunker.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you're listening and haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do. It really, really helps the channel grow.
Okay, let's do it. We think of zombies now as this, huge global brand, The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, video games.
It's everywhere.
But it all traces back to 1968 and George Romero. And the most shocking thing, looking at the research, is that this entire explosion might be because of a single clerical error.
It's one of the biggest oops moments in entertainment history. So Romero and his team, they scraped together about $114,000 to make this gritty black and white movie.
Which is nothing. Pennies. And it ends up grossing over $30 million.
A lottery ticket win. A massive hit. But here's the catch. During production, the movie wasn't called Night of the Living Dead.
Right, the working title was Night of the Flesh Eaters.
Exactly. And there was apparently a dispute with another film that had a similar title. So the distributor, at the very last minute, changes the name.
To Night of the Living Dead?
Yep. They rushed to create a new title card for the opening credits. But in that rush, they forgot one tiny thing.
The little C in a circle.
The copyright notice. They just left it off.
And today you might think, so what? But the law in 1968 was different, right?
Oh, very different. Under the 1909 Copyright Act, if you released a work without that notice, it didn't get copyright protection.
So
It immediately entered the public domain the second it was released.
That is mind-blowing. So Romero basically lost ownership of his own creation on day one.
Effectively, yeah. It meant anyone could screen it, anyone could copy it, anyone could use the footage.
That's why you see it playing on TV in the background of other movies, like Halloween.
That's exactly why. Or Shaun of the Dead. It's free to use.
It's tragic for Romero's bank account, but you have to wonder if the genre would have exploded the way it did if that movie had been locked down.
I think that's the key takeaway. It became open source folklore. It allowed the idea of the modern zombie to spread like a virus because nobody could legally stop it.
But let's give the movie itself some credit, because copyright error doesn't matter if the movie stinks. And Night is a masterpiece of tension.
It really is. That high contrast film noir look. It relies so heavily on shadows and what they call the voodoo of location. That farmhouse feels so isolated.
And the music. They couldn't afford a real score, so they used stock library music.
Which usually sounds awful, like elevator music in a horror film.
Right. But here, it worked. The tracks they pulled were these weird, discordant sci-fi pieces. It made the audience feel like something was just fundamentally wrong with the world.
It really did.
We also have to talk about the casting of Dwayne Jones as Ben the hero.
A crucial piece of cinema history. The original script, Ben, was written as a white truck driver. A bit rough around the edges.
But Dwayne Jones gave the best audition.
He was just the best actor for the role, according to Romero. Romero always claimed it wasn't a political statement.
He just cast the best guy.
That's what he maintained. But come on, it's 1968. You can't put a black man in the lead, having him slap a hysterical white woman to calm her down, and not have it become political.
The context of the era just does the work for you. And then that ending. I remember seeing it for the first time and just sitting in silence.
It's devastating. Ben survives the zombies. He does everything right. He survives the night.
And then the rescue squad shows up.
Yeah.
This posse of white law enforcement.
And they shoot him on sight. They don't even check.
They just shoot. And those final still images under the credits of him being dragged out with meat hooks.
It mirrors the imagery of lynchings from that era perfectly. Whether it was intended or not, that ending made the movie serious social commentary.
See, the movie changes the world. Fast forward a decade. Romero wants to make a sequel. But his co-writer, John Russo...
He also wants to make a sequel.
Yeah.
And they have very different ideas.
This is the great divorce.
They couldn't agree. Romero wanted to jump 10 years into the future, show a society that had completely collapsed.
Which became Dawn of the Dead.
Right. But Russo wanted to write a story where the first outbreak was contained, but a new accident starts a fresh one. Something a bit more pulpy.
So they go to court, and this is my favorite part of the whole legal mess.
They basically split the dictionary.
They did. The court decided that George Romero had the rights to use the suffix of the dead.
So he gets Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead.
And Russo gets the phrase living dead.
Exactly. Which is how we ended up with the Return of the Living Dead franchise.
Which is such a blast. I mean, Return of the Living Dead from '85.
Yeah.
It's a punk rock horror comedy. It's so different.
It's the perfect counter-programming. Romero is serious and gloomy. Return is a party. And it's incredibly meta.
Oh, yeah. The characters in the movie talk about the movie Night of the Living Dead.
There's that great scene where the older guy asks the new employee, "Did you ever see that movie Night of the Living Dead?" And he explains the movie was based on a true story.
But that the army made them change the facts for the film.
It's brilliant. It establishes that in Russo's timeline, Romero's movie exists as a dramatization of what really happened. It's so clever.
And speaking of different timelines, the split didn't just change the titles, it changed the biology of the monsters.
And this is where casual viewers get so confused. Okay, so let's clarify the rules.
Please.
In Romero's universe Dawn, Day, the zombies are reanimated corpses. The cause is vague. Radiation, no more room in hell, whatever.
And they are slow, they shamble.
Right. Romero was adamant. He said they have rigor mortis. They have bad ankles. And to kill them, destroy the brain.
The classic rules, but Russo zombies in return, they're a total nightmare.
They're terrifying. They're created by a chemical gas called trioxin. They can run, they can think, and most famously,
they can talk. Send more. Paramedics.
That's the one. And they specifically say they eat brains because it makes the pain of being dead go away.
But the worst part is you can't kill them.
Not easily. There's that scene where they cut off a zombie's head and the head keeps biting and the body keeps thrashing around.
Because the brain isn't the weak spot.
Exactly. Every single part is alive. You have to completely incinerate them. A headshot does nothing.
It just ramps up the panic. If a headshot doesn't work, you're pretty much done. But let's swing back to Romero and 1978's Dawn of the Dead.
We move from the farmhouse to the shopping mall. The ultimate American setting.
It is. Night was about racial tension. Dawn is purely about consumerism.
It's the ultimate wish fulfillment fantasy, isn't it? The world ends, and you get to live in a mall. You have everything.
And the characters totally indulge. They rob the mall bank even though money is useless. They try on fur coats. They become prisoners of their own comfort.
And the zombies are doing the same thing. There's that great line.
They don't know why. They just remember that they want to be in here.
Exactly. They're mindless consumers shuffling through a department store. Romero is just holding a mirror and saying, "This is you."
I also want to touch on the characters. In Night, everyone hates each other. Ben and Harry Cooper's fighting gets them all killed.
It's a total breakdown of communication. Dawn, on the other hand, gives us a highly capable team. Peter and Roger, the two SWAT guys, develop this genuine bromance.
They're professionals. The first half feels more like an adventure movie than a horror movie. They're a tribe.
And Peter, played by Ken Forrer, continues that legacy of the strong black lead. He's the moral center. But even that tight team gets complacent in the mall.
Let's also talk about the look. If you watch Dawn today, the zombies look, well, they look blue.
Huh, they do. Tom Savini, the makeup artist, used this gray grease paint that, under the intense mall lighting, just read as slate blue on film.
Some people criticize it, but I kind of like it. It makes them look unnatural, like they're starting to spoil.
It adds to the surreal quality, and you start to feel a bit of pity for them. They're getting hit with pies, slipping on floors. They're pathetic.
Until they rip your guts out.
Well, yes, they're still dangerous.
Which brings us to the great debate, fast versus slow zombies. In 2004, Zack Snyder remakes Dawn, and he makes the zombies sprinters.
The Olympic athletes of the undead.
Yeah, and one of the sources we looked at, a video essay, argues that slow zombies are laughably unserious to modern audiences. If you can walk faster than the monster, it's not scary.
It's a common critique. Snyder's zombies are predators. It's pure adrenaline. But I think that misses the whole point of the slow zombie.
So why is slow scary?
Slow is scary because it is inevitable. A fast zombie is a jump scare, a physical threat. But a slow zombie, it represents death itself.
Okay.
You can outrun it today, you can outrun it tomorrow.
Oh.
But you have to sleep. You might twist your ankle. And no matter what, that slow, shuffling thing is still coming for you.
It's the tortoise and the hare, but the tortoise eats you alive.
Exactly. The horror in Romero's films is being overwhelmed because you got trapped or you were too busy fighting other humans. Slow speed gives you time for social satire.
That's a great distinction. Snyder's film is an action roller coaster. Romero's is a slow-motion car crash.
And the finances prove there's room for both. The original Dawn was made for, what, $640,000? And had an ROI of like 10,000%.
Incredible. Okay, so we've covered the American split, but we have to talk about the international fallout, because the Italian film industry looked at all this and said, hold my espresso.
Oh, the zombie confusion. This is where the brand truly went off the rails.
So walk us through this. Romero releases Dawn of the Dead.
Right. But in Italy, it's released under the title Zombie.
Okay, simple enough. Dawn of the Dead is zombie.
Correct. But then, seeing the success, another director, Lucio Fulci, makes his own zombie movie. It has nothing to do with Romero's. It's about voodoo curses.
And a zombie fights a shark underwater.
A real shark. It's an insane movie. But the marketers wanted to trick people into thinking it was a sequel. So since Romero's film was called Zombie, they called Fulci's film
Zombie 2.
Zombie 2.
That is just so brazen.
It worked. So then we got Zombie 3 and Zombie 4. This is where it gets hilarious. Zombie 5. Killing Birds is literally a movie about killer birds.
No way.
Yes, but they just slapped the zombie title on the box to trick people at the video store.
Wow. The Dead brand just became this free-for-all label you could put on anything.
It all circles back to that first copyright mistake. Romero lost control of Night. Then he lost exclusive rights to Russo. Then, internationally, distributors just hijacked it. It's a franchise nobody truly owns.
It's kind of beautiful in a chaotic way. It's this massive mutated family tree of the undead.
It is. You want social commentary, you watch Romero, you want punk rock comedy, you watch Return, you want sharks, you watch Zombie 2. There's an undead for everyone.
So as we wrap this up, I want to pose a question. We've talked about how that one clerical error put Night of the Living Dead in the public domain.
Right.
What happens if that guy didn't forget the copyright notice? What if Romero owned it? 100% lockdown.
It's the ultimate what if. If Romero owned it, it wouldn't have been on late night TV for free, which is how a whole generation of filmmakers discovered it. It wouldn't have been remixed and ripped off so easily.
No, we might not have The Walking Dead.
We probably wouldn't. The zombie might have stayed a niche monster like the Mummy. It wouldn't have become this global pop culture icon. That one typo basically allowed the zombie to eat the world.
That is a wild thought. History really does pivot on the smallest things.
It sure does.
Well, on that note, I'm going to go check my emergency supplies, maybe board up the studio door.
Aim for the head. Unless it's a return zombie, then good luck.
Then just run. Huge thanks again to everyone listening, and especially our subscribers on the Dark Zero Horror Network. You guys are the best.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you in the bunker.